Are you using a cane or walker, but you still feel off balance or just not right?
Well, you might be making one of the most common mistakes us therapists find a lot.
So we're going to be talking about the 3 biggest mistakes people do when using a cane or a walker, and we're going to show you how to fix them to make your walking experience safer and make you feel more confident.
There's no doubt about it. Hold on, we'll show you in a second.
Bob and Brad, the 2 most famous physical therapists on the internet.
Welcome to the Bob and Brad channel. We are the most famous physical therapy team on the internet.
That's right, but it's in our opinion, of course.
And if you're new to our channel and like this video, please like and subscribe.
There you go, subscribe. Yes, what are we going to talk about?
So first, we're going to talk about the 3 common mistakes using a cane. And the biggest mistake we see was made popular by Dr. House on a show where he used the cane on the injured side. And I actually just had a patient that keeps doing this, and I keep having to tell him to switch sides.
There you go. So if you look at my leg, not that it's a beautiful leg, but it is obviously, this represents the sore leg, the problem leg, the weak leg. If you have a cane on the same side and you walk like Dr. House, it seems like that would make sense, but that's not proper. If you take the sore leg, put the cane in the opposite hand, when the sore leg goes forward or the weak leg, the cane goes with it. You support and divide your weight between this leg, and you have a wide base of support, so your balance is very good. As opposed to this way, the base of support is only a few inches, and it makes it much more wobbly. So pay attention, listen to your therapist, put it in the proper hand, and you'll get much better results.
Now, if you don't have a sore leg and you're just using a cane in general, just make sure to reciprocate it with your opposite leg when you're stepping forward. You'll commonly choose your dominant side when you're holding on to it because you'll feel more confident that way. I forgot what else I was going to mention about this.
See, you're getting old just like me. The brain is starting to fail.
So you just choose which side works best for you, whether it's left or right-handed. I was going to say, because when you commonly walk, you don't walk same arm, same side like this, because that looks really goofy. You walk with reciprocating, alternating motion. So that's what I was going to say.
Right.
Brain fart moment, you know. Next tip is using the wrong height or setting it to the wrong height. Right now, mine is way too tall, and Brad's is way too short. We often want it roughly at the crease of your wrist when you are standing up straight. So I'm going to adjust mine quickly. All canes kind of adjust in a slightly different way, but you want to be standing tall, hand at your side, comfortably resting. Roughly the crease of your wrist is good. Make sure you're not leaning over to cheat on it. Just make sure you get right height, and that should be the optimal setup.
There you go. Now, there is one situation. Occasionally, people do have a wooden cane. I happen to have one here. This is actually found it out in the backyard. It was a branch with a...
You found it as a cane in the backyard?
Well, I made it into a cane. It's got a nice handle. But anyways, on something like this cane is way too tall. If I put my hand here, it needs to have about 3 inches cut off. So you're going to need to take a saw. I've done this many times with people, and you need to, get it in a vise or something and cut it off. There's a big thing you have to worry about is you can always cut it off, but you cannot cut it back on if you cut it too short. So don't cut too much off. You might have to cut a little bit more off, so go less than more. No big deal. Just do it properly.
Just glue it back on.
Yeah, and look at this. See, this cane is nice if you're in the wrong side of town and you need to use it for self-defense. It really, yeah.
I'm not going to meet you in the wrong side of town. The last common mistake we see with the cane is leaning way too much or depending upon the cane too much for support if you have poor balance. That may look like really leaning over hard. They really struggle to bring their leg forward. Oftentimes, this is a sign that you may need more support, so it may be time to start looking at a walker because that way you can have support through both arms, and your walking mechanics and gait pattern will look a lot more natural, and you'll feel a lot steadier. Don't let your ego get in the way. Sometimes you have to use a walker to be safe.
You better believe it. The other thing I just thought of right now, actually, is if you're a climate where there's winter and ice, they do make little attachments you can put onto a cane where you flip over a little spike that is perfect for walking in the ice, and it actually digs in. Then you can flip it back over when you go inside where you don't want to scratch up the floor. You can just look it up on any computer. I guess it's called the internet. internet.
Yes, the internet. Do make sure when you look at a cane, oftentimes they have a height range with them when you purchase them. So just make sure you're in that height range so it can be adjustable to you.
There you go.
Prettier colors makes you walk faster and better too, just in case you're wondering. Now we're going to move on to walkers. Now, all these tips pertain to a front wheel walker. This is what we call this one, or a four-wheel walker. They are essentially the same when it comes to walking mechanics. You have to have a little bit better balance to use a four-wheel walker, but obviously they have a seat. We're not here to talk about walkers. So we're just talking about the tips. The first one is oftentimes people have their walker too far out in front of them and they are walking behind it. They may be pushing it and then walking. They may have a little shuffle gait like this. You do not want to walk outside the walker. You want to keep your feet inside the walker. I would say the best thing to do is to try to keep the midfoot in line with the back legs here, or tennis balls on mine, or with Brad, it would be the back wheels. Walk within the walker. You're going to have much better posture and you're going to feel safer and steadier this way.
So if you have a four-wheeled walker, which a lot of people do, they work excellent. The tendency is that people think that's going to get away on you and you're going to be behind it, which it can, but just get used to it. Remember, you have brakes, hand brakes, which work really nice to slow it down. And of course, if you get tired, the big advantage here is you can actually sit down, take a break, and then when you're rested, up again and continue to walk.
Now, even with the brakes, if you really do struggle with a four-wheel walker like that and it constantly gets away, it may be time to use a front-wheel walker like this because they are more sturdy. You can put a lot more weight through them and they don't move around as much.
There you go.
So a lot of it has
point.
to do with the front wheel casters on those ones. In comparison to
Did we
these.
talk about height?
We didn't talk about
Whoa.
the height yet. So the next thing, again, with the walker, it's the same as the cane. You want a good, correct height. This one's actually a little short for me. You can see that is not at the crease of my wrist. It is a little low. So I would want to raise this up a notch. You have to raise every individual area up to get the right height. I'm not going to do that because it's going to take forever, but they're pretty self-explanatory on your walkers.
No tools needed on that one. However, on a four-wheeled walker, same thing. Stand up tall in the walker. It should line up with the crease of your wrist. You do need to have a wrench to loosen it up. There's a bolt that you take out. I've got this one out so you can see it slides up and down. Get it at the proper height, and then there will be, there we go. Get that in, and there's a nut to put on there. Tighten it up, and there you go.
I think I had the back ones not as high as the front ones. That's why
Mike,
that's why there's numbers on this.
Mike, why?
Make sure to get it correctly.
It never happens like that in front of a patient.
No, never. You always nail it the first time. And the last thing is just thinking about your posture and trying to stand up tall. Obviously, the individual, depending upon how strong or weak their legs are or what issues they may have to lean a little bit more on the walker. But you don't want to be walking with really bad posture as you're going along. Try to be as upright as possible and try to put as much weight through your legs as possible because you want to keep them strong. Even if you're using the walker, it should be there for support as needed. Obviously, if you have really bad arthritis or pain, you may have to lean a little bit more on it, but then your arms and shoulders are going to become tired. So use your legs as much as possible.
That's right. And you know, the walker, you don't really need a lot of, if you have to put a lot of weight, you don't want the four-wheeled walker, just a little bit for the handhold. The bigger wheels on this make these ideal for outside on the grass or on rough terrain and over the sidewalks. These are not so much for that.
Yes, oftentimes the back legs will wear out whether you have little skis on them, just the normal heads or tennis balls, especially if you're going outdoors. If you're indoors more or an apartment complex of sorts, this is fine.
Yep.
Typically with these type of walkers, oftentimes people use those when they're outdoors. Like
Exactly right.
So those are the 3 common mistakes between a walker and a cane.
Oh, yeah.
If you are curious of, I don't know what type of walker to actually pick out, you can click the video link on the screen.
Oh, there you go. How to pick out the right walker. That's a nice video. Good compliment to this one.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Have a good day and walk safely.
I'll just say walk away, but okay.
Bob and Brad, the 2 most famous physical therapists on the internet.